It's important that every day that the narcotics are checked, and they actually have to be signed off by 2 people. The narcotics in both ambulances are located in the refrigerator that sits right behind the captain's chair. That refrigerator is double locked with two separate padlocks, and so those are located on the ambulance key ring. You need to open both of those padlocks, pull out the narcotics bag, and you'll notice that the bag actually has 2 seals on it. So you and the person that you're changing shifts with will need to sign off that the seals on both sides of the bag are in place and current. Also, once a month, you need to verify the expiration dates on the bags. Each bag has a piece of paper that goes with it inside the pocket that tells you, the dates that anything expires, and you can verify that all of your drugs are current and up to date. Also, inside the refrigerator, every 24 hours we monitor the temperature. The temperature of the refrigerator needs to be between 2 degrees and 8 degrees centigrade, and that gets logged on the graph. Please log the actual temperature that you see from the refrigerator on the graph for the day that you're checking. And if for some reason the temperature is not is either less than 2 degrees or greater than 8 degrees, you need to do a couple of things. 1, verify that the power is working. 2, you need to make sure that the narcotics and drugs that are in the ambulance are remaining cool. You can either take them off of the truck and put them in another refrigerator temporarily, or you can get some of the cold packs that are located in the office and put those in the refrigerator and in a cooler so that the drugs will remain cool throughout the day. Just remember, if you do take the drugs off of the ambulance, that it is required that you have those drugs on every call. So if you take them off every time you use the truck, you do have to take them with you. If it's not a power problem, if it's truly a problem with the refrigerator temperature has just gotten out of range, then each one of the refrigerators has an adjustment. We ask that you adjust the knob by 1 position each time. So, and then you'll recheck in 6 to 12 hours. So if, for instance, that the refrigerator is too cold, then you would lower the number to less cooling by 1 position, and then in 6 hours you would recheck and verify that you're back within 2 to 8 degrees centigrade. And if you're not, then you repeat that process until we get where we're supposed to be with the temperature. The portable suction unit for the ambulance is located in the cabinet by the passenger exit, and that suction unit is plugged in. What you need to know when you check it every day is you have to unplug the power in order for it to function properly. So you'll notice that if you try to test it with the power plugged in, it will not suck properly, and you'll never get the appropriate amount of suction. As soon as you unplug the power, it will function appropriately. Yeah. If at any time you do need to make a call while you're in the back of the ambulance, we do have a cell phone that always stays on the ambulance for emergency cases, and that cell phone is located in this compartment here. Part of your daily checks will be to make sure that the cell phone is 1, located there, and 2, is plugged in and charging. That way, if for any reason you do need it, then that cell phone is ready to use and available for you. If for some reason the ambulance has a wreck and the back doors won't open, then there is a way. Every piece of equipment that goes in the ambulance is required by law to be able to be removed from 2 exits. If you can, the rear exit is by far the easiest, and you can get the crew out by carrying the stretcher out in its normal fashion. If for some reason that will not work, then what you will need to do is pop off the buckles from the safety net, which will grant you more access. You'll put up the armrests, and then you can release the stretcher from the cot, pull it back, and you can actually lift the stretcher up inside of the ambulance and pull it out. The stretcher can be removed through this door, although quite difficult. For the patient population that we deal with, it's probably smarter to remove the patient from the stretcher and carry them out. Especially when dealing with the isolette, it would be very difficult for you to safely lift the stretcher and the isolette and carry through the door. But any equipment that we do have is able to be removed through this door. It may not be easy, but it can be done. All right. policy for fueling the ambulance is anytime the ambulance is below a half of a tank, it must be fueled before you go out on a call. Anytime the ambulance is below 3/4 of a tank, you need to fuel it before the end of your shift. At Bonheur, we use Fuel Man for our fueling locations, and each ambulance has a list of Fuel Man locations that are available on transport for Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Missouri. So any of the areas that you might be doing transports, you should have Fuel Man locations. It tells you which ones are 24-hour, which ones are not, and it also notes which ones carry diesel. We've printed only the ones that do have diesel on the list, so that's available to you to determine your fuel stops as you go from place to place. Whoever is operating the ambulance, anybody qualified to operate the ambulance, will receive a Fuel Man pin, and that pin is used to fuel the ambulance and pay for the fuel that you get. We track preventative maintenance based on the Fuel Man usage. So each time you enter your Fuel Man card, it's going to also ask you for the odometer on the ambulance. It's very important that that odometer is accurately entered so that we can track maintenance and have oil changes and so forth done on the proper schedule. The other thing that's important is if for some reason you're on a transport and there is no Fuel Man location available, if you put it on your personal credit card, save the receipt, and then Bonheur will reimburse you for that fuel when you get back.